Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear could become the turning point of your life. Before we begin this journey, I want you to pause, truly pause, and feel the weight of this moment. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the quiet thrum of your heartbeat, the undeniable truth that you are standing at the intersection of who you've been and who you are capable of becoming. Most people rush through these moments without ever acknowledging their significance. But greatness is born the instant you decide to reclaim authorship over your own story. This is not another ordinary day, and this will not be another ordinary chapter. This is the moment you disrupt the autopilot mode that has governed your life for far too long. Because the brutal reality is this: many people exist, but very few consciously live. They follow routines they never questioned, beliefs they never challenged, and limitations they never attempted to transcend. Yet every extraordinary life begins with a single undeniable decision, the decision to awaken. You cannot elevate your life with the same emotional patterns that have kept you confined. You cannot unlock your potential while clinging to the narratives that once kept you safe, but now keep you small. Human beings are not limited by resources. They are limited by resourcefulness. They are not held back by the world. They are held back by the internal stories that insist they are not ready, not worthy, or not capable. But make no mistake, those stories are illusions. And illusions lose power the moment you confront them with awareness. Your life expands the moment your consciousness expands. We live in an era of unprecedented opportunity, yet equally unprecedented distraction. Every second, something is vying for your attention. Notifications, responsibilities, comparisons, pressures, expectations, and if you are not intentional, your mind becomes a battlefield, occupied not by your purpose, but by noise. That is why your first responsibility, before you build habits, before you build routines, before you build dreams, is to reclaim mastery over your internal state. You must learn to command your mind, not negotiate with your fears. You must learn to prime your nervous system for clarity, not chaos. You must learn to cultivate emotional sovereignty, the ability to decide how you feel regardless of circumstance. Because your state determines your decisions, and your decisions determine your destiny. When your state is low, you think small, you act small, you shrink. When your state is elevated, you make bold decisions, take courageous actions, and step into the arena where transformation happens. Every breakthrough you seek begins with an internal shift in the state you operate from. Your physiology, your focus, your language, these are not small influences. They are the building blocks of your reality. But if you are going to create a life of meaning, of magnitude, of purpose, then you must also dare to raise your standards. Your life is a direct reflection of what you tolerate. If you tolerate procrastination, you will live a life ruled by hesitation. If you tolerate fear, you will live a life governed by avoidance. If you tolerate mediocrity, your results will reflect mediocrity. But the moment you elevate what you demand from yourself, truly elevate it, everything adapts to that new threshold. Standards are not wishes. Standards are non-negotiable rules you set for yourself that dictate the quality of your actions and the direction of your life. And when your standards rise, the world around you shifts. Yet clarity is the oxygen of achievement. Without clarity, you wander. Without clarity, you hesitate. Without clarity, you sabotage yourself without even realizing it. Most people know what they don't want, but remarkably few know what they unequivocally do want. What is the life you crave? What is the legacy you intend to build? What is the impact you want your existence to imprint upon this world? Until your vision becomes vivid, visceral, and emotionally compelling, your habits will have no foundation. Clarity generates momentum. Momentum creates identity. Identity sustains transformation. And understand this: energy is the currency of greatness. You cannot demand excellence from a fatigued body or a fragmented mind. Your physical vitality determines your emotional capacity, and your emotional capacity determines the magnitude of your life. Strength is not merely physical, it is psychological, emotional, spiritual. Every time you move your body, you ignite the chemistry of confidence, endorphins, dopamine, momentum. Every time you neglect your body, you inadvertently suppress your potential. Excellence requires energy. Greatness requires stamina. Your dreams require a vessel strong enough to carry them. This journey you're stepping into is not merely about improvement, it is about evolution. Improvement changes what you do. Evolution changes who you are, and the person you must become to reach the next level of your life will not emerge from convenience, but from challenge, from discomfort, from the willingness to confront the parts of yourself that you've avoided. Growth is not a gentle process. Transformation is not supposed to feel safe, but it is within that friction, that inner tension between where you are and where you could, that your highest self is forged. Today marks the beginning of your recalibration. The recalibration of your mindset, your energy, your intentions, your vision, your habits, and your identity. This is the moment you stop participating in your limitations and start participating in your potential. This is the moment you stop waiting for permission and start operating from purpose. This is the moment you recognize that everything you desire, growth, power, clarity, confidence, freedom, begins not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Because right now you are choosing who you will become. Before anything else, take a breath. I want you to feel where you are right now in your life. Not where you pretend to be, not what you show the world, but where you truly are inside. Because the truth is this: your life is shaped not by the events you experience, but by the meaning you attach to those events. And the meaning you attach is created by your habits, mental habits, emotional habits, behavioral habits. 7 of them have the power to rewrite your entire story. But before we get into those habits, I want you to understand something fundamental. Human beings are not driven by goals. We are driven by standards. You will always get what your standards demand. If your standard is, I just want to survive, you will survive. If your standard is, I want to live a life that I'm proud of, you will build a different set of habits, a different psychology, a different destiny. The moment you raise your standards, you rewrite your future. Every transformation begins with a shift in state. Have you ever noticed how different you feel when you're energized compared to when you're drained? Ever noticed how your decisions change when your body is tired versus when your body is awake? Emotion is created by motion. The first habit is the ability to control your state. When you wake up in the morning, the world pulls at you instantly: notifications, responsibilities, stress. But the people who shape their lives intentionally take back those first minutes. They prime their mind before the world primes them. They breathe deeply. They move their body. They bring gratitude into their heart. They focus on what they want rather than what they fear. This is not ritual, it's wiring. You are designing your emotions instead of waiting for life to decide how you feel. When you start the day with gratitude, you shift your nervous system. When you move your body with intensity, even for a few minutes, you signal energy. When you focus on what you want, you begin training your mind to search for solutions instead of problems. Priming is not about motivation. It's about conditioning your identity. You cannot build a powerful life with a stressed, scattered, or reactive mind. You build it with clarity, energy, and purpose. Most people rush through their morning like a fire drill. The few who master their life build the habit of mastering their state first thing every day. This is where the shift begins. When you prime your mind daily, you're not waiting for a good day, you're creating one. The second habit is raising your standards and gaining clarity about what you want. People in the United States especially live in a culture of speed, pressure, noise, opportunity, competition, and comparison. There are more distractions than ever before. There is more access to information than at any time in human history, but clarity has become rare. Most people know what they don't want, but very few know exactly what they do want. Vague goals produce vague results. Clear goals produce clear outcomes. You must define what a better life looks like for you financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially. Do you want more energy? Do you want financial freedom? Do you want deeper relationships? Do you want peace, contribution, influence, or simply happiness? If you don't define your target, your mind will wander, your emotions will drift, and your actions will scatter. The moment you decide what you want, truly decide, the world around you begins to shift. Raising your standards means deciding what is no longer acceptable in your life. It means saying, I will no longer settle for average effort. I will no longer tolerate toxic patterns. I will no longer accept excuses. I will give more, I will become more, and I will demand more of myself. When you raise your standards, your identity expands. You begin to behave like a person who expects greatness from themselves. That's how new habits stick. They become a reflection of who you believe you are. The third habit is taking control of your day by focusing on what actually matters, not what's urgent, not what's convenient, not what other people want from you, what matters. In the American lifestyle, being busy is glorified, but being productive is ignored. The average person wakes up, grabs their phone, scrolls through chaos, absorbs stress, and then spends the rest of the day reacting. They respond to messages, notifications, demands, and pressure. But the people who build extraordinary lives design their day with intention. They choose one primary outcome, each day one result that truly moves the needle in their life. Not 10 tasks, not a 50-item checklist, one outcome that matters deeply. This habit reorganizes your mind. It forces you to think strategically, what is the most important thing I can accomplish today that brings me closer to the life I want? It may be related to your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, your personal growth, or your overall well-being. Whatever it is, you must connect emotion to it. Don't just write the task right, why it matters. When your why is strong, you become unstoppable. You stop procrastinating, you stop drifting, you stop wasting time. Instead, you engage with purpose, direction, and clarity. You take back your day, and when you take back your days, you take back your life. The fourth habit is moving your body and elevating your physical energy. People underestimate how much their physiology controls their psychology. They make decisions, respond to stress, handle relationships, chase opportunities, or face problems based on their physical state. If your energy is low, your mind becomes foggy. If your body is stressed, you become reactive. If your posture collapses, your confidence collapses. But when you move your body, even through a simple walk, a stretch, a workout, you change your emotional experience. You release chemicals that heighten clarity, confidence, and focus. You realign your hormones. You elevate your metabolism. You improve mental sharpness. The greatest leaders, creators, entrepreneurs, and performers all understand this. Energy is the foundation of excellence. This is especially critical in a culture where burnout is common. In the US, millions of people feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, and exhausted, not because they don't have the ability to succeed, but because their energy is drained before the day even begins. You cannot expect greatness from a depleted body. You must treat your energy as your most important resource. Make movement a daily ritual. Make strength a priority. Make recovery a commitment. Your body is the vehicle that carries your dreams. Keep it strong. The fifth habit is feeding your mind and growing consistently. Growth is not optional. It is essential. The happiest people are not the ones with the most comfort. They are the ones who feel they are progressing. Humans are wired for growth. When you challenge your mind, when you learn new skills, when you explore new ideas, when you gain new perspectives, you become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Most people scroll more than they learn. They consume noise instead of knowledge. They let their mind atrophy. But the most successful and fulfilled individuals feed their mind daily. Read books, take courses, listen to powerful messages, engage in deep conversations, ask better questions, seek mentors, learn from people who are where you want to be. Education is not something you finish, it's something you live. The more you grow, the more resourceful you become. And when you're resourceful, you find solutions where others see problems. You create opportunities where others see limitations. You attract possibilities instead of avoiding them. Your mind is your most powerful tool. Sharpen it every day. The sixth habit is cultivating deep relationships and contributing beyond yourself. Life is not meant to be lived alone. Humans are social beings, and the quality of your life is shaped dramatically by the quality of your relationships. Who you spend time with, you become. If you surround yourself with complainers, you begin to complain. If you surround yourself with victims, you adopt victim thinking. If you surround yourself with dreamers, thinkers, builders, and leaders, your standards rise. You become more courageous, more disciplined, more driven. Choose your environment deliberately. Choose people who lift you, challenge you, and inspire you. But beyond surrounding yourself with the right people, you must also give to others. Contribution brings fulfillment, purpose, and meaning. When you help someone, you remind yourself that your life has power. When you show compassion, you connect to humanity. When you express gratitude, you shift your emotional state. Contribution is not about money, it's about impact. You can contribute with your time, your attention, your kindness, your energy, or your presence. A life centered only on yourself becomes empty, but a life centered on growth, contribution, and community becomes deeply fulfilling. The seventh habit is reflection, resilience, and using challenges as fuel. Problems are not the enemy. Stress is not the enemy. Pain is not the enemy. They are signals that something needs to grow. Life will test you. It will test your patience, your confidence, your courage, your discipline, your resilience. But the purpose of testing is strengthening. When a challenge appears, you have two choices: shrink or expand. Those who build extraordinary lives choose expansion. They reflect, they learn, they adapt, they evolve. They ask empowering questions. What is this teaching me? How can I use this? How can this make me better? This habit transforms you from someone who avoids difficulty to someone who uses difficulty. You stop running from fear and begin running toward growth. You stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how is this happening for me? Resilience is not about never falling. It's about always rising. When you combine these 7 habits, priming your mind, raising your standards, designing your day with intention, elevating your energy, feeding your mind, building meaningful relationships, and using challenges as fuel, you create momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in life. Once you start moving in the right direction, life starts aligning. Opportunities appear, people show up, confidence grows, fear shrinks, your identity expands, and suddenly the life that once felt out of reach becomes your new reality. Your past does not define you, your habits do. And today you have the power to build the habits that build a better life. A life of energy, passion, purpose, clarity, growth, connection, and resilience. A life you don't just live, but a life you design consciously. Let this be the beginning of your new chapter. Let this be the moment you choose better habits, better standards, and a better future. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is the moment you decide. And if you're hearing this now, this is your moment. Step into it fully. Step into it with courage. Step into it with certainty. Step into it knowing that the most powerful force in your life is the decision you make today, because your future is not shaped by chance. It is shaped by choice. And today you choose to build the habits that build a better life.